Today on XPlay, we preview the greatest games coming exclusively to Xbox, and we awaken in the Matrix to investigate if Keanu Reeves really is an ageless vampire.
Right on.
We welcome our Unreal Engine 5 overlords. It's game time.
Hello and welcome to XPlay.
Today, we're looking ahead at all the Xbox exclusive games we're excited in 2022 and beyond.
Believe it or not, they don't all start with the word Halo.
Yes, there are plenty of other great games Microsoft brought for the Xbox, like an indulgent parent buying their teenage kid a brand new Porsche.
Let's take them out for a spin, shall we?
2021 was a huge year for Xbox, acquiring the parent company of Bethesda. And we're a full year after the launch of yet another console it seems no one can purchase at retail, the Series X. I brought together a panel of so-called experts along to talk about what we can expect coming from Microsoft and Xbox for 2022. So we have Frost, Gerard the Completionist, WWE superstar Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed, and the Black Hokage. Thanks all. Okay, so Microsoft. Let's just talk about the big one that's coming out in 2022. It's one of the reasons they bought Bethesda, and that is the new IP coming from Bethesda, which is Starfield.
What you've found, it's the key to unlocking everything.
And obviously, for those who don't know, this is the team that is best known for doing the Elder Scrolls games and Fallout. It kind of falls in that same hyper open world first person game.
So I've got some fun facts to kick us all off to get everyone up to speed
Okay.
for the Skyrim in space.
Let's do it.
First and foremost, that this is the first Bethesda IP or original IP in 25 years. Yeah, think about that one. They've been sitting on Fallout and Elder Scrolls for 25 years.
What about Rogue Warrior?
No.
All right, that doesn't count?
No.
Yeah, okay, go on.
It's also the biggest engine overhaul for them since Morrowind to Oblivion. So if you think about how different those two games were and what they were offering, particularly around AI, and that's kind of like where I want to start this jumping off point, because everyone will be like, oh, Starfield looks really shiny. No one knows what it's about. We know it's Bethesda, Skyrim in space. This has all been repeated over and over. But Todd has said specifically that he feels that games cannot advance graphically too much farther right now. Like, it seems to be that when we're always about the next generation, that it's more polished, it's more beautiful, it's more realistic. He feels like it's been there, and now the next avenue that Starfield is supposed to usher in is the world saying yes to you more. Can I pick this up? Can I do this? Can I kill this person? Can I make this choice? Yes, 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 yes. And AI specifically. So that's kind of like the promise of what Starfield is supposed to bring us. And it feels like Bethesda is setting themselves up for kind of the next big legacy of their IP and building more Starfields. And even if it's not the perfect game on its release, it's kind of a new engine for Bethesda to build their RPG action adventure titles on. And this idea of more immersion than ever before in terms of how you immerse and interact with the game world. And that's why I think it's so hyped. Not just the space feature, but just this idea of like what is next for gaming.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there a trailer for this game
Yes.
with gameplay?
No.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Yeah.
I love it.
To Gerard's point is, there's been a lot of talk about this game. We haven't seen the game.
Yeah.
If you go back to the way that they announced Fallout 4 and then released it a few months later, I think that they felt they had to at least acknowledge, also they got bought by Microsoft. They had to acknowledge Starfield and Starfield having a release date. But beyond that, I think that we're going to see the same thing play out where, mum's the word until that, first reveal. And then they're just going to be able to like throw Starfield in our face all the way to the November release.
There have been a couple of leaks of certain images and maybe potential gameplay, but obviously nothing confirmed. Things that show a gravity HUD. Todd Howard has been really specific about HUD design in the future, and this one specifically shows like it has a G for gravity. You're in space. They say that there is space travel, so everyone's like, "Whoo, traveling around different worlds. That sounds like No Man's Sky."
This project has taken on the same allure as Stanley Kubrick's movie AI that
Yeah.
never got made until Spielberg got it. And he didn't want to make it because the tech wasn't there. So like these ideas have been out there waiting for the technology actually to catch up with it. I'm very comfortable with the benefit of the doubt. On that one.
I think it's also the fact that the development team has grown exponentially. They went from 100 to 400, and obviously with the acquisition of Microsoft and like pumping money into it, for how Starfield's been laying around a long time.
How much? It was $2 billion to acquire Bethesda?
$8
$8 billion.
$8 billion.
No, $2 billion was Minecraft. That's right. That's why I came up with the $2 billion. That tends to give you a sneak peek, I've been told. So, and then they went ahead with the purchase. So I think there's some wisdom there. Now, really changing gears in terms of games that are coming out, one of the trailers from the Game Awards that really got a big reaction was the sequel to Hellblade.
I know you.
Hellblade was one of those games that sort of came out without much fanfare and really got people excited. And I think the reaction to Hellblade 2, really underscored that. You, I believe, are quite the Hellblade.
Oh, yeah.
Hellblade fan.
Ooh, yeah. This game's about mental health, and it's set in this kind of I don't want to say prehistoric, but definitely pre-our time era of relationships and evolving amongst more nomadic people, and it's about mental health. It's about psychosis and how this character is being shunned amongst her people because of what she has and what she has to go through. And the game kind of is centralized around her illness as a power. It plays into her abilities and how the narrative rolls out. And it was very beautiful. A small team, made this game. It was a labor of love. It was like essentially an indie game that was funneled through this now almost AAA-esque lens that is now, Ninja Theory was also purchased by Microsoft. So now they're part of the Microsoft family. So it naturally, Hellblade 1 did so well with Hellblade 2. It's probably going to do bigger and better things. I didn't see the Game Awards because I was here filming Attack stuff. Was there, from the trailer, was there gameplay? It was just more narrative
There's a lot
stuff?
of running and set pieces.
Yeah. It was definitely more of a mood trailer than
Sure.
this is what you're going to do trailer. I think actually not that dissimilar to what we were just saying about Bethesda and
Yeah.
Starfield is that Ninja Theory is one of the most interesting developers because if you look at the games they've made, it's a very interesting, diverse bunch of games. I mean, the first one was the beautiful yet post-apocalyptic version. I think it was, it was partially the Monkey King story. They did the Devil May Cry spin-off alternate game, and obviously there's Hellblade, which is a very, very narrative-driven game. It's yet another one where it's like I'm very interested to see what they do, especially now that they have Microsoft money coursing through their veins.
Yeah.
You know.
Never a bad thing to have.
No,
cash.
it seems to be a good one. Speaking of Microsoft money coursing through veins, this one gets me excited, is Obsidian Entertainment, another purchase by Microsoft, about as storied as an RPG maker as Bethesda is. This one, the name of the game, which Avowed.
Now our oaths are lost, forsaken.
This is in the Pillars of Eternity universe. It's the big RPG, or the first big RPG from Obsidian under the Microsoft banner. Once again, it's kind of all I need to know to kind of get that tingle going. Because if you're in the know, you'll love Obsidian.
Obsidian, if you guys, I'm sure you guys know. If you guys don't know, Fallout New Vegas, does that ring a bell? And probably one of the best Fallout games ever made. Guess what? Obsidian made that game.
They did KOTOR 2. They also did the horribly forgotten, I've actually forgotten the name. They did one of the most interesting KOTOR-style RPGs for Sega a long, long time ago, which hopefully you can actually get revisited. It was a spy game. It wasn't in a fantasy or science fiction setting. It was actually it was espionage.
The TLDR is that they have a huge proven track record for really true RPG experiences and world immersion. And it kind of came to a head when they made Outer Worlds
That's
after...
what I was.
Yes.
That's the one. Outer Worlds was. I was like, I was circling the drain in my mind. I was like, they made another game before they announced Avowed. Outer Worlds was a brilliant title.
Yeah, and Bethesda put their foot in it with Fallout 76, and then Obsidian was like, hold our beer, made Outer Worlds, and kind of showed them how to make that IP and franchise again. And now Avowed is supposedly the Elder Scrolls version. So if you're Microsoft, you sit fat and happy, you're like, I have Bethesda and I have Obsidian, and they are competing together to make RPG action titles in apocalyptic and fantasy worlds. And since Elder Scrolls 6 is somewhere distantly on the horizon, Avowed is hyped.
Amongst its one logo.
Title screen.
Elder
Scrolls 6, eventually.
Yes.
Yeah. So many hopes for 2022. So many new games for me to try out on Game Pass for 2 hours, then go back to playing.
We've got more Xbox 2022 chatter coming up. And if you're like me, you'll spend the break trying to figure out and manage your expectations for Starfield.
We'll be right back.
To New York to follow a dream.
Welcome to the Empire State.
And then she's a victim of a violent murder.
New York detectives have seen it all.
You want to give that family justice.
And only we can take you to the scene of the crime.
The person who did this murder was very familiar with the Opera House.
It takes a city of dreams to create these nightmares.
It was a world-famous pizzeria.
Does this have something to do with the mafia?
New York Homicide, a new series, premieres Saturday, January 1st, only on Oxygen True Crime.
Chucky will return.
Welcome home.
Until then, watch the hit series from the beginning, streaming now on Peacock.
Welcome back to XPlay. Hey TBH, what's your New Year's resolution?
To eat healthy, finally catch up on my back catalog, and have some positive people in my life.
Aw, am I one of those positive people in your life?
Chill. I was talking about Gex. She's got a great perspective on life.
All right, yeah, let's talk more about Xbox exclusives before this gets any weirder.
I think that Xbox has absolutely dumpstered Sony this time around. It used to be kind of really back and forth, and then Sony with the PlayStation 2 really overtook things with their library. The PS3 was great. PS4 probably fine till the end of its era, but the PS5 has been, in my opinion, nowhere to be seen. Not only in acquiring the console, but in finding any titles. And the fact that I know, right?
It's okay, you got one.
What do I do with it now?
Okay, forgive yourself. You got one. You did it. You're amongst us.
The fact that I will never own an Xbox, but I can have Game Pass and Xbox on my PC is life-changing. It is amazing to me. I play Forza almost every single night. I think it has just been the slam dunk when we can't get these consoles. And at this point, I'm like, Xbox can do no wrong by me. Give me all of these titles, because now I have my souped-up PC. I have my PS5. I'll eventually use it for something. But until then, it is Game Pass for me all the way.
Anything you're excited for?
I don't really have a lot of knowledge about the Xbox exclusive stuff, aside from what we already talked about. I've always just been the guy that is friends with people who play Xbox games, and I was the friend who'd come over and play them. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for now, I'm just kind of waiting for a title that appeals to me. I am the guy that's like, I would love a Banjo-Kazooie 3. I would love any rare resurgence of classic IPs from them.
Grab by the Ghoulies.
Grab by the Ghoulies was wonderful.
I was being snide when I said that, but clearly you were earnest.
I love Grab by the Ghoulies. You underestimate me. I'm a weird dude in that way. What I really am excited for is the Cuphead DLC. Yeah, that's going to be great. Cuphead was really fun, and
no, just Cuphead made me that was the first moment I went, I am old.
If I had a choice, I'd go with another Sunset Overdrive, huh? Can we do that, please?
Yeah, I don't want to rain on that parade there. Insomniac owns the IP. And they're now owned by Sony.
That's true.
So, well, when we do the PlayStation video, I'll say it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Double
that game is legit great.
So good.
So fun.
And TBH.
Only thing I'm looking for from them is Starfield, and mainly because Andromeda didn't scratch that itch for me. And BioWare, they've been kind of shaky with the release of Anthem, and then Andromeda. I don't know how that new Mass Effect's gonna turn out. As big of a fan as I am, so I'm hoping maybe Bethesda can pick up the slack that BioWare dropped.
Okay, yeah, Starfield's great. Obsidian, amazing. I actually think Xbox is going to have a hell of a 2022. I think they're going to absolutely smoke Sony until Sony get their act together right now. I think the PlayStation is kind of dead man walking.
Oh, wow. You get to have the emails from the Sony Defense Force, not me. I love that. Yeah,
I don't know.
To pick even one of those three that we just talked about, I guess I'm going to go with Starfield. Because I would be playing that game even if I was blind. Now let's go to the speculation. I like this part. Wild speculations or hopeful dreams or something like that? Frost?
Does it have to be Xbox exclusives?
Well, like involving Xbox and their business decisions?
Well, all of the producers behind you just went like this.
That's the theme of the video.
Xbox exclusives. Go for them first.
Yeah, anyone else think maybe?
I'll take the helm.
Go for it.
I got two, actually. Okay, as the residential shooter guy, can we bring back Bulletstorm? That was a very underrated shooter that was all about style. It was all about scoring points and I've never seen a shooter that creative, so I would love to see that brought back. I don't think that got a lot of love. And then, I don't believe it got a sequel, but Odyssey Journey to the West. It was about the story of Wukong and him bringing the girl over to like the West Coast.
Yeah,
like that.
no, that was the one I was referring to earlier. From Ninja Theory.
Yeah. There was not a sequel for that, correct?
Nope.
I would love to see it. That game was very criminally underrated. A great action adventure game.
Xavier?
I'm racking my brain.
All right, I'm gonna throw two out there. Both of them are probably more wishful thinking than actuality. But since there is going to be a Fable 4 sometime down the line, remasters of Fable 1, 2, and 3.
That makes sense.
That would do very, very well for them, as well as I still think there's a chance that they're going to be buying more studios, and we're going to have ourselves a Metal Gear game on a Microsoft.
Oh, that would be such a big FU.
Yeah. It's just a feeling.
Again, dead man walking.
Nothing but a feeling.
Is BioWare? Have Xbox eaten up BioWare yet?
No.
Just EA.
No, they had the option to with the first Mass Effect, but they gave it over to EA.
Oh.
Yeah.
People don't remember that was the original one wasn't exclusive.
It was exclusive.
I don't know. I feel like there's so many titles, and I don't think that Sony has enough good exclusives right now, comparatively probably to what Game Pass and Xbox exclusives will offer me. That between like the Hogwarts Legacy game, between the fact that we could have two incredible RPG series in 2022 or even 2023 with Starfield and anything that Obsidian's putting out, if it's Avowed, of potential Elder Scrolls. Like, there's a world where I'm playing 4 RPG amazing games at one time. I am ready for that world, and nothing is on PlayStation, and that makes me sad.
All right. Well, you now get to wear the target. I am thankful so much. Gerard, did you ever come up with something?
I did. And it's not necessarily something that's like I want it from a particular Microsoft IP or second or third party. I just want to see Microsoft invest more into indie titles. Microsoft Ad ID, the indie program, has been very fruitful for things like Cuphead. I want, it feels like in the last decade, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft have kind of been doing this like gleeful dance of like, we love indies. Indies are great. We're going to fund them. But like behind the scenes, a lot of indie developers are realizing that the grass isn't always as green as they think it is. And so we see resurgence of great companies coming together, making original IPs, and then like no sequels, no titles, no support going forward. So I guess what I'm saying is I want Microsoft to treat indie studios better. It's not really like a prediction or a crazy thing. Just I'd love to see more indie games that were under the Microsoft banner.
All right, I think that's a fine thing to wish. All right, all four of you, thank you so much.
For once, I actually feel pretty excited about the future.
And then the game delay happens.
And it's gone.
But up next, we do a deep dive into a one-of-a-kind experience you can play right now, and it has Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh, are we finally getting the sad Keanu adventure game I keep pitching to developers at conventions?
Not yet, but keep trying. One of these days, someone will bite. Stay tuned for our breakdown of The Matrix Awakens after these messages.
I'm gonna play it. It's like mental health.
Blink your eyes.
Puzzle game.
Blink your eyes. You beat it.
5 breadsticks for my triple treat. 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat, and the pizza plus another pizza. The triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
Freeze drive ritual!
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Hi, thanks for joining the Payne Motors quarterly earnings call. And now I'll turn you over to our new CEO.
The numbers last quarter were rough. Mea culpa. Well, not mea culpa, actually. Vea culpa. Let's sell the crap out of this car.
It looks like the car was assembled by a spider on LSD who also had bad taste.
It tested well.
American Auto premieres January 4th on NBC and watch 2 episodes now on Peacock.
Welcome back to Real XPlay. Or is this just a photorealistic Unreal Engine 5 XPlay demo?
I'm pretty sure this is just real XPlay.
What? How can you tell?
The yogurt snacks on the table are still expired, and that's a level of detail too intricate for Unreal Engine 5.
Or is it?
Epic Games is showing off their incredible Unreal Engine 5 technology in a demo tie-in to the new Matrix film.
But why is there a new Matrix film?
I don't know. That's not part of the segment, Frost.
Check out The Matrix Awakens.
I know this. I can only read what's on the prompter.
So we are in the Matrix.
Unreal 5 has released a new Matrix-themed tech demo called The Matrix Awakens. Welcome you guys to the conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about the actual Matrix tech demo?
We have to remember that this is a pure tech demo. It's not a real game.
For sure.
It's just showcasing simply how the guns work, how the presentation works, overall just how, the technology of Unreal 5 can handle. And the thing I noticed the most that was really jarring is that, in the beginning, it gives you this vibe and feel of, oh wow, look at it seamlessly transition from from real life footage to game back and forth. And this was really fun. You know, the action parts were really great and fun to engage with. But yeah, this is really just designed to show Unreal 5 in a really cool Matrix bow.
For sure. I think the visuals were top notch and impressive. It's really showing what Unreal can do. I guess for me, after playing this demo, it was such a controlled demo. What came into question for me is this how actual games will run? Because when it's a vertical, I played a lot of vertical slices, and then when the full game comes out, it becomes something completely different. So it's like, I don't want to get too gung-ho on it. It is impressive from a visual standpoint, but I just want to see how this is implemented into a full game. But it is nice to see how far games are actually coming. In terms of the mechanics though, it was an on-rail shooter in the shooter part, so like it didn't really do anything for me. I would have liked to have been able to have more control over what we were doing as well as it be longer. Cess, what did you actually think about the tech demo overall?
I think my overall sense of this demo is why. And because it's impressive to see what Unreal can do. I think another stage, which is why are you here, would have been nice because yeah, one can see the metaversal, God, I just created a new word, opportunities that can come from sharing assets between films and games. You know, what the real notion of the uncanny valley is that the closer that we get to quote unquote realism, it's, you know, those differences where it falls short become all the more glaring. All the stuff with simple geometry or simple-ish geometry, like the city, like the cars, where the lighting is just kind of amazing, you know, like really, like that's great. But the minute you see the character models, which are probably some of the best human character models I've seen, but because they're so close to looking human, you can see where the flaws are because the muscles under the eyes aren't doing the right thing. Probably if they took off the cool sunglasses, it would become all the more apparent. I've always been a big supporter of not trying to push things too close towards like a perfect simulacrum, even though I know that's what the Matrix is all about, blah, 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 because we're never going to achieve it. I almost wonder when I'm saying, why did we have this? Was this designed more as trying to make a case for people to develop with Unreal 5? It's a very strong case to be made, and it was so cool they decided to share it with everybody. What it also, I think, reinforces is something that might have been lost during the Fortnite craze. Obviously, Fortnite runs on Unreal, and Fortnite highlights the other aspect of Unreal, which I think is the more lucrative one, is that it scales so well. You can play it on the phone, you can play it on a low-end Chromebook, you can play it on a really high-end PC, and it does all three. That's such a large part of why Fortnite is so successful, is that, you know, a 9-year-old that has like a third-generation hand-me-down laptop can play the game just fine. What might have gotten lost in that shuffle is also it can do insanely high-end lighting and audio work.
Well, I think we're at this point where, again, this is a demo designed to show the future of the technology, right? You know, it's a situation where this is step one into many steps going forward. You know, I don't know when the last time when Unreal 4 was released, but I think it's been a while. So the fact that we're finally getting Unreal 5 and they're choosing to show it off with this iconic franchise of The Matrix is to kind of like grandiosely paint this image of the future is coming via this film that we all watched many years ago.
I'm of the mind that it's not so much the fidelity of the graphics that we're going to see improve, although, you know, I'm looking at it right now, and those lighting effects are just absolutely amazing. But it's also the size of that city. I have always said bigger isn't necessarily better. I remember when someone tried to sell me on like Banjo-Tooie. It's like, whoa, it's 10 times bigger than the biggest level in Banjo-Kazooie, and it's like, I mean, that's nice. I'm glad you had to buy new pants, but that doesn't mean that means more fun. And I think that we have all of these opportunities, but do we have the money, the labor, and really the collective know-how to really take advantage of it? So it's not just bigger and shinier just for the sake of something that is bigger and shinier.
This will be great for VR. And I didn't even think about that. Imagine the fidelity of Unreal 5 in the encapsulation of a VR headset. That's going to be super interesting to see.
Also, yeah, like the on-rails concept too would run better with the VR.
Yes.
That makes sense. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's our show.
You know what I realized during the last segment, Gerard?
What's that, Frost?
Gexmantha is living in her own personal XPlay matrix. She thinks she's hosting the show, but her set is just a printed backdrop on a terrarium.
Aren't we all just living in our own terrariums with printed backdrops?
Freaky.
Well, hopefully your terrarium includes subscribing to the G4 TV YouTube and Twitch channels.
Check out our reviews and XPlay live streams every week.
Bye-bye.